hello, hello. Yay. Hello. All right. My name is Chrissy Hayford, and it's been a while I came on live, but I've been planning for this thing for a very long time. In fact, like to talk about what kind of topic I wanted to discuss, or what kind of topic I want to share my thoughts, to share my ideas on. And it's been a while, I mean, certain things come in and health and a whole lot of things, and you don't get to be share your mind. But I know a lot of people have been following me on LinkedIn, so it's always good to come live. I mean, and devote myself a little bit away from the writings. I know I love to write. I mean, basically, every morning that I wake up, I have to write something and being here. So I want to welcome you all wherever you are watching from, whether from Europe, Asia, America, wherever it is that you are watching this from. Thank you for joining the stream, and I appreciate it very much. And I thank you for everybody that support me here on LinkedIn on any esports thing that I'm working on, my project, my partners. I want to say thank you, and especially to my community, because if it's not a community that I belong, then their passion and their skills that really fuel my desire to talk about esports every day. Um, it is them that we do all this for. But most importantly, I have three things in mind that I always talk about. The fact that we do what we do because we want to create awareness. We do what we do. We want to dispel misconception about esports. We do what we do to create recognition for esports. And then the third one, we do what we do to what? To really own in rewards. Like we talk about acceptance and rewards for esports. There is a big reward. There are rewards in esports that goes beyond not just only monetary, but personal development, career-wise employment, and all that. All right, so today I want to talk about policy to passion, how government can what envision esports. Any government anywhere. I know there are a lot of people, there are a lot of countries, there are a lot of government that are trying to build frameworks for esports, but in Africa it's a bit different. So the culture, there are a bit of nuances that comes into play into esports. So it's not always like you can take one blueprint from another country and put it into another country. Yes, you can do that, but there are certain laws, there are certain principles, there are certain within the culture system of governance, and it takes a bit of work to get things moving and gelling, a bit of fluidity in getting a government to accept. But disclaimer here, there's no scientific proof of what I'm going to say. These are my own thoughts, these are my own perception, these are my own understanding for a while that I've been in esports. And basically I do also these things because of the technical things that I love to do. Basically currently I'm streaming on LinkedIn, and at the same time also on YouTube. So I'm doing multi-stream. I could have done that to IG, but I prefer to do this too. And I'm using two webcams. I'll try and see. Okay, so this is my main camera. I like to talk about the live streaming bit because it was through live streaming, it was through esports that I got to be introduced to live streaming. And I do live streaming for events, conferences, and other stuff. So this thing that I'm doing is just a one-man production. There's nobody here in the studio. It's only me doing my stuff. And anytime I do this, I learn. So let me just walk through to the setup that I have. Then after that, we'll go to the main meat or the topic for today. Okay, so I have two webcams that I'm using. This is the Anchor webcam. It's 2K webcam. I hope the quality is okay, but it's cool. And then I have another camera here. Hey, yes, this is also another camera. It's a webcam, but the quality is good. So it's supposed to be a 4K camera, basically. I hope the quality is cool, but I have to do a little bit of image adjustment. So this camera is also there. Then I have my other camera here as well. All right. So basically, today I'm using Vmix to do the production, and I'm using the Vmix Pro version to do the production. So I get to have. I love using Vmix. I'm actually transitioned from OBS to Vmix, and since that time, I've not gone back. I've used Vmix to do a lot of productions, and I love it. I don't know all. I just keep learning the software and using it within the productions that I do, especially esports production and stuff like that. All right, so welcome to Pad and Purpose. We're supposed to be my own podcast, video podcast, but I also have a newsletter on LinkedIn. So go and subscribe to Pad and Purpose as well. And Pad and Purpose, I try to bring you a whole lot of stuff. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we jump into the main meat of the day. Stick and stay. All right, and you are welcome back to Pad and Purpose with me, Chrissy Hayford, and today we're talking about from passion to, or from policy to passion. I have another write up that talks about from passion to policy, and that basically talk about how players must envision themselves and leverage on the policies that are government policies that are already in existence to build their esports trajectory. But today I'm talking from the top to the down. What government need to do, or from the top, to the grassroots. That's my topic for today. And basically I'm just sharing my mind. And the first thing I'm going to use the word policy. If you followed me that much, you know that I like to use words. I like to use acronyms, or I like to use words to express myself. So I pick a word, the policy, and I try to find what connections or what other means or words that are in there. So basically, I'm going to use the word policy to drive home the message of policy to passion by the government. All right, so the first P, let's go. All right, so my first P is plan, partners, and performance. I think that government needs to look at a blueprint, right? Government needs to have a plan. And that plan is to be able to do to galvanize. Every government have their vision or agenda 2020, agenda 2030, agenda 2050, and government needs to have a blueprint for esports. It is a space that is growing, but it seems that Africa is lagging behind only because government doesn't have a plan. And if we begin to have a plan in place where we can plan with partners and then also look at performance, right? So in my submission, I say that a blueprint to develop esports, a development plan that position esports as what? A social and economic venture, right? A national esports policy that includes a plan to empower partners and strengthen credible performance towards long-term sustainability. And when I talk about partners, I'm talking about associations, federations, I'm talking about esports teams, I'm talking about media enterprises, I'm talking about technological platforms, I'm talking about ISPs, I'm talking about data centers, I'm talking about publishers as well. So I'm talking about a whole lot of people that need to come together so that we can put our minds together to draw a plan. So P for plan, P for partners, P for partners, P for performance, P for players. All of them needs to come together to build a solid developmental plan or policy for esports. And government needs to take that initiative. It needs to bring everybody, every single person that is within the ecosystem, no one left behind, to build a solid national esports policy. So the policy must develop a plan for everyone. All right, so that is the first P that talks about what? Plan, partners, performance. And I also talk about the fact that government needs to look at performances, existing performances that has been done or works that has been done. Definitely esports is a community reach first, so you need to seek those who are working within the space and those who have done work in the space. Performance, merit, work, you know what I'm saying? All right, so we go to the next one, all right, which is O. And what I basically have shared something about this before, but this presentation, I'm going in much more deeper, talking about. So number 2 is organize an opportunity. Plan, organize. Organize. When I talk about government organizing, I mean, we've talked about plan, but you don't just have to have a plan. You need to take steps to organize the community, organize stakeholders engagement, have surveys and all that. But it also needs to create opportunities for the community, right? So that is one of the things that I think that government needs to take initiatives in bringing people together, organizing seminars, organizing fast finding. What culture is it? What is the gaming culture? What is the esports culture in Ghana? What games are we playing? I mean, and what platforms are we playing? How much data is being used? You need to organize this, bring all stakeholders together so that everybody gets to be inclusive. Already, I could say that on the community level and private level, people are doing stuff. But until government comes in and organize the space, a lot of people will do work in silos. And that's basically that is where the problem is, because organization brings structures and structures build systems. I hope I'm cool, right? All right, so let's go to the next one. And basically, that will be the third one. And the third one is, we are using the word policy. So we've done P, we've done O. So let's do L, which is number 3, right? All right. So number 3 is legislature. Hey, I have to take time to say it so that I won't bark. So legislature, right? We need to build that. And government needs to lead effort in that. We need to build laws that protect the fundamental human rights of gamers, but we need to build laws that backs our esports ecosystem. We need to build laws, policies will have to drive these legal systems. There's a lot of contractual agreement in esports, and until there are laws that protect and until there are laws that safeguard the space, a lot of things will go wrong. And unfortunately, I will say it on record here that we cannot use sports law to govern esports, because esports is a bit different. The principles and the IPs and the ownership of esports totally different from that of sports. Esports works within the framework of digital, and it has a multi-sectorial governance, and when you are talking about esports, we will need to bring into the space digital technology, ownership, sports framework, digital framework, cultural framework, youth and recreational framework, and especially when it comes to the youth employment also comes into the space. So there are a lot of things that works within the space, so government needs to lead in driving policy that goes to parliament and that eventually needs to be enacted as laws. So, for instance, in Ghana now, is esports into the law of as a work? I know in other countries like Germany and others where, I mean, there's laws governing esports employment, right? And there's visas that has been given to people and stuff like that, and it's recognized. I know, even in, is it Kazakhstan, where people work full time as esports players, but here, even getting your company to register as an esports entity is a bit tiresome because the rules and engagement don't recognize, there's no law of esports establishment. So I do get it a lot when game center owners come to me and they want to register under what business category they should register their business. Is it recreational? Is it sports? Is it multimedia? Is it entertainment? And we need to come to a place that we can have all these, which is being promoted by new media, which is evolving. The space is basically evolving. I mean, technology that is within the space keeps changing, the games keep changing, the productions keeps changing, and all that. So government needs to lead in that aspect, and I think that building legislature, leading the effort. Why don't we have an ally for esports in parliament? Because the space offers so much employment opportunity to the youth, right? I'll come to government agencies, but I mean, that is number 3. So let's move on to number 4. Once again, we're using the word policy, and we've done P, we've done O, we've done L for legislature, and number 3, I think I have the I, right? So that should be I for initiatives, innovative ideas, and investment. I think that government needs to commit to exploring new ideas, platforms, homegrown, innovative esports initiatives that equip young people with digital skills that transfer directly into what broader job market. The reason I'm saying this is that there's a lot of things that government needs to do. We need to build an enabling environment, infrastructure as well. I didn't add it to this, but infrastructure definitely falls under investment. And there are people building stuff, especially in Ghana. Individuals building tournament platforms, and these are technology platforms, right? These are innovations. They need support. There are media houses that are springing up that are entirely production houses for esports production, and the kind of transfer of business or commercial entities they can work within the frameworks of many things, and these are innovative ideas, innovative business ideas, but they need support. Esports teams are being formed. They don't have spaces to be as offices. They don't have practicing spaces. We don't have arena spaces. We don't have. So there is a need for government to what? create innovative offers? Are they funds? Are they financial instruments for us to develop the space? It needs to come, you know. And sometimes I think that the government have government enough agencies that can think, or have a think tank, or have a broader scope of into the space, and say, hey, look, this is a space that needs to be empowered, and look for the innovative ideas that already being done by individuals. We have Mashada, we have Game Hive, we have different gaming platforms, we have Botfill. These are platforms that are built by individuals that are being used for tournament management, and tournament bracket systems and all that. And there are great productions out there. And not to talk about even game development. You know, Letty Art, Ghana's premium esports platforms or studio, they are producing esports games. You know, Swift, Africa Legends, that has been used for esports tournament. Imagine that they are being empowered, they are being supported, or to have, let's say, Africa Legends esports tournament across schools in Ghana. Imagine how, and they will feed back into the system, you know, where the studios that are producing local made games get support. And the studios become internship programs for game developers for the student. So there's an esports league that uses the games that we are producing. And mind you, the league system doesn't only for players. There are people that we need, shoutcasters, we need graphic designers, we need analysts, we need stream moderators, we need a whole lot of employment opportunities or experts. Even the hardware, you know, putting the computers together, network engineers to connect the computers to talk to each other. So there's a broader framework that needs to come into place. And I believe that there are so many initiatives, ideas, innovative ideas, and we need government to lead in investment. Why hasn't government done an esports investment challenge? There's so many app challenge. Yes, I have seen the 1 million coders thing. I, I I was trying to write into it an esports, but unfortunately I couldn't get in. But coding and gaming, you know where that starts from. Anyway, so that is the fourth initiative, or the fourth letter for policy, which is I, and we're talking about what? Initiative, innovative ideas, and investment. And you can add infrastructure. We need infrastructure, yes. Why don't we have a gaming esports arena, which can be on esports complex? All right. One of the ideas that I have in mind, basically, okay, is that, you know, in the National Cathedral, right? I know I'm treading on some dangerous grounds, but let me speak my mind. I'm a Ghanaian. Let me speak my mind. One of the things I think that, you know, where the National Cathedral ground is, what we can turn it into, we can turn it into a knowledge city or esports convention center, a youth convention space where it has all, you know, I traveled to India, right? And one of the spaces that they have is called Knowledge City. It's huge buildings, huge infrastructure space where young people come. And they have, close to it, they have T-Hub and they have T-Works. The T-Works is kind of a space for fabricating stuff, right? So if you have an idea and you want to fabricate it, there you go with your idea, and they can help you fabricate whatever idea you have. Any idea, project that you think that is viable, you go there with it and they can help you do it. So for me, that whole stretch of the National Cathedral ground should be turned into a knowledge city, right? For young people, In Ghana, yeah, we don't have any centralized location for entertainment, for technology, for business, and build co-working spaces for young people to have a permanent space for businesses. You can rent out the space for them, have high internet space, high internet offers, you know, and give grants to these businesses. So it becomes an incubation space for all sorts of futuristic ideas, and you build this edifice for young people, and it is perpetual because time and time again, year in, year out, young people comes in, they grow, they leave, they come in with ideas, they build the ideas, and then they begin to produce more product, and you build the space for people to bring in solid ideas. I know Ghanaians have ideas. It will shock you how we can build products and services at a go like that. So that is one of the things. I mean, infrastructure, and government needs to lead that. And sometimes it needs to be a bridge between private sector and government. And the big corporations are able to work with government because government have the requisite authorization and power to orchestrate things. If I'm a single individual goes to a corporate entity with a brilliant idea, it won't fly. It will go through the bottlenecks of bureaucracy within a government or within these corporate entities. But government needs to take initiative to build, initiative to harness esports ideas that will empower skill set and job set. All right, so we move on to the fifth one. I will share this later. And I think that okay. I think I need to edit my fifth slide and see what is there. Okay. Initiative. So I have one more, which is policy. Okay, we go to 4, which is C, which is this is supposed to be my fifth policy contribution. All right, so my next word is C, policy. So we've done P, we've done O, we've done L, which is legislature, we've done I, policy. Then C for contribute to community and culture. If you don't know anything about esports, the starting point of esports is community. Without community, there is no esports. And to tell you the truth, that is basically it. One person cannot only do esports. Esports is built by passionate community gamers across different games, across different disciplines, and they all come together. And once a community comes together, it starts off as a clan. Then it becomes a club. Then it becomes a bigger community. Then we can now build professionalism around it, right? Then we can now build commercialization around it. So community is very key. And in every community, there's you need to nurture them, right? And there's a culture that need to be provided for community to exist. It's just like any other community, right? I mean, our normal society, government needs to build roads, you need to bring electricity to the people and all that. And exactly like us in any community, like in the esports community, government needs to lay down certain things for us to make things work. And there are teams, esports teams, media production units, government needs to engage publishers. Government can talk direct to Sony. We are using a lot of PlayStations in Ghana. Government can talk to Sony, reduce the cost so that when we are buying Sony PlayStation in Ghana, the costs or the vendors that are bringing in Sony PlayStation devices, we get it a lot more cheaper. There's a tax rebate for these devices. Or government can begin to talk to other publishers to bring their service to Ghana. It needs to be a multilateral relationship, and government have the access to do that for us. And that is what the community needs. And I think that contribute to community and culture. There's a culture of gaming, and the culture of gaming is that we love to play the game, but now it is not just for fun. It can be passion can become perfection, and perfection in the sense of creating better livelihood for young people, dignity of work for young people, dignity of knowing that I love to do this, I love to play video games. And this is one of the things that I like to say about esports and gaming in natural. Esports, like the fact that gaming is self-employment. You can basically self-employ yourself through content creation or becoming a gaming influencer, right? And I keep on saying that even if I play and stream 1 minute of content of gaming and I put it online and I consistently do it and build a followership on YouTube, basically, I can get offers. You have to put a professional framework around it, definitely, to be able to attract the investment. And if you get your numbers high and stuff like that, you are a gamer, you are self-employed. I can mention Ninja, Shrewd, and other gamers who definitely got big contract because of their followership on streaming, and they got even contract. I used to use is it Microsoft? I've forgotten the platform. Great platform, eventually went there. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a culture of gaming. And government need to understand the culture of gaming so that it can build the necessary policy framework that support development of grassroots esports, and not to lord it over them, not to control them. Yes, we need to have I prefer using contribution instead of control. I prefer to say that I prefer to use government being more responsible than regulation, in the sense that yes, the gaming space. If I buy the game myself, I buy my own data, I buy my own console, I sit in my room and I play the game. All right. Another person does the same thing, and everybody does that, and we all come together to create a community. The government didn't provide these consoles for us. Until government provide the space for us to work and build affinity for all these and help build the culture and develop it, that is when we begin to build commercialization, professionalism, structures and system, and regulatory framework that support community. So if you don't understand me, but hey, this is my opinion, you can have your opinion as well. But I mean, this is where I said I believe in building a community, giving the community the opportunity to flourish, and at the end of the day, creating an environment where esports develop. So we need to build infrastructure, provide modern internet. I'm happy 5G is coming to Ghana, which will really increase accessibility, affordability for gamers to play. Currently, data is expensive, so you won't get everybody playing online or even creating content online as it is in other spaces. But we will get there. We'll get there. All right, so that is policy. My last and not the least is the letter Y. So we've done policy, we've done P, we've done O, we've done L, we've done I, we've done C, and then we have Y. And this is how, for me, I envision the government working on esports, touching on esports, and so let's go to Y. And what I think Y should be youth at work now and in the future. So this is where I'm very, very, very passionate about. The fact that esports is basically youth oriented. Esports is driven by youth, youthful exuberance. The youth have energy, they have strength, they have innovation, they are poised for the future, So one of the things that I really talk about a lot is about youth also have time, idleness, right? And when that idle time is not put into good use, they tend to become bad. So we need to put the youth at work. Work in the sense that build alternative employment opportunities. And that's what esports offers. It's not everybody who will have white collar job and go and sit in the office. It's not everybody who will become an engineer. It's not everybody who will become a doctor. It's not everybody cut up for certain, let's say, white collar jobs. So I believe that esports create alternative employment opportunities that we may not necessarily learn in the classroom. And it is, for me, that is youth at work. How many, let's say, how many how many schools are currently, teaching, let's say, shoutcasting? How many schools are currently teaching an esports observer? How many are people there teaching how to do tournament management or bracket management, data entering, administrative? It is all new spaces. I mean, you can learn a profession and veer towards esports. That is good. But I always think that and believe that esports offers more opportunities for young people to turn their passion into profession. And it has low entry barriers, right? There are so many young people who have finished school and they don't have jobs. If they don't have jobs, let's create an esports league and put them into work and build a professional framework. What is building a professional framework? Let's get teams, esports teams, registered as business entities and support them. Once an esports team is registered as a business, they have managers, they have administrators, they have social media managers. There's a lot of employment stream that an esports team offers, right? As it is in any other sports with team structures, just like Man U, just like Chelsea, just like PSG, just like Real Madrid, who are currently, they also have their esports outfit. So it is basically putting these young ones to work, right? Youth at work. It's creating alternative employment opportunities. That is what basically esports is doing. But guess what? These are people who love to play games, who love the passion of playing games. But it's not just playing games, because games is, when we bring it to the professional level, which esports is. Basically, esports is competitive play of professional play of video games. The word professional there means a lot. Just like we have professional football or professional footballers, now we have, as doctors are professional fields, esports also have professional players. But the good news for esports is that the entry level is open to anyone. It's open to anyone. And the more young people find they are already playing the video games. So why don't we professionalize the space and create a commercial value for that, or create an economic venture for that? We have about 25 esports teams in Ghana. Each team has not less than 4 to 5 players signed to them. Each team is creating jerseys for them. Each team have social medias to handle. Imagine they are getting support, which they are feeding back to these players. All of a sudden, the players are practicing, having enough time to practice, enough time to train. It's not just playing the games. It's learning the game mechanics to the professional level to understand your opponent and how to win the game. You see, so it's not just going to sit behind consoles and play. In other jurisdictions and territories, they have esports coaches, esports referees. And these are all jobs, youth at work. So I'm very passionate about this esports day because it offers employment opportunities and takes the mind and intellectual mind of the work, put them at work. Just like Ronaldo practiced his football skills to get to where it is, so it is for esports, players to do the same. Some practice 6 hours, 8 hours playing the game to get the game. So it is work. It is not just any work. It revolves using your intellectual minds. It is involved using your visual acumen. It is involved using your visual awareness. You watch the thing on the screen, you have to pass the information to your mind. You have to make quick decisions. Transfer it into your hand. Transfer it into your legs. If you are playing sim racing, your entire body is in there. No matter the type of game somebody is playing, it is work also. It is work. And it is youth at work. It is not just entertainment. Yes, the entertainment part is there. Those watching may feel entertainment, may feel the technology, but the person performing, right, it is putting his skills. Is putting his digital skills, which becomes transferable skills, which becomes what? Employable skills. That's why I love esports too. So I can talk about this because I'm so emotional about it. Why? Because it is youth at work. And the government needs to recognize this and build policies. We have to stop the political power play. This esports thing is so powerful if we can envision it. It's so powerful if we can see the end now. And build a strategic national policy framework that will put young people to work. And I talk about this and I look at it even from rehabilitation of young people, taking them from drug rehabilitation, because you can't play the game when you are high. You can't play the game when you are drunk. No. You need to have a clear mindset, to play the game. And we have a lot of our youth into drugs when you read. We have a lot of young people because they are idle. We have a lot of young people going into drug abuse, going into negative self-destructive tendencies, because there's nothing for them to do. They are on social media watching other people getting rich, and they want to go into other bad social negative tendencies. But guess what? I do a tournament and I occupy these players playing the video game for 8 hours. We start at 10 and close around 10 p.m. A typical tournament. Some tournaments run from 10 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. And these guys, they are into the game. They are playing the game, battling in the game. And their focus and mindset is all skewed towards what? Becoming a better version of themselves. And that is what esports offers. So we need to see the value that this thing called esports offers. And government needs to see, it needs to open its eyes and envision the future and build strategic national esports policy for Agenda 2020. So when a new government comes in and talks about resetting the economy, I am all for it. Because in there is an esports strategic plan. In there is an esports policy that empowers what? The youth. Oh, I've gone overboard my time, and I'll have to bring this to a close. But this has been me sharing my heart. This has been me sharing my soul on how government should what? Envision esports. And I talk about the 5 P's, or I use the word policy, right? Let me just recap. Let me just recap this. So today's message has really been about envisioning esports by government, how government should drive policy. And the first P, I talk about plan, partners, publishers, everybody that comes, people that comes into the, and then we talked about O for what? Opportunities. O for I think I talk about O for organizing, government organizing the space, putting the space into order, organizing the space, and also creating the opportunities. And I talked about L for legislature, that is building the law, the frameworks. I mean, if it has to be backed by law, and build a framework that needs to, and it needs to be in consultation with every stakeholder in the space. I think that we talked about I, which is building initiatives, creating initiative, innovative ideas, investment, infrastructure. That is for I. Government needs to build a policy that powers that. And then government needs to build policy that contributes to what? Community and culture. The culture of gamers. People play games. People have desire. People have things to do. And government needs to build, create a contribution towards building a community, stronger communities, building stronger cultures, right? And then the last but not the least is youth at work, where I share a lot of my passion, is putting the youth at work. Every government agency that is connected, that has a youth mandate, must begin to have esports at the boardroom. Yes, every government agency that has a connection with youth and sports must begin to have discussion of esports in the boardroom. That one, I will say it again. Every government agency, from the sports agency to the youth employment agency to whatever agency, to the digitalization agency, must begin to have this discussion of what? Youth sports or esports or digital sports, technology and culture in the boardroom, to empower the next generation of esports. Put the youth at work. Put the youth at work. And that's what esports does. Esports empower the youth, empowers their passion, empowers their minds, empowers their to become a better version of themselves playing video games. They learn through the scheme. There's esports education as well. Maybe next time I'll talk about esports education as well. But basically, that has been me. All right. If you didn't get all of it, then you can really come back and come and share. You can share in the comment section your perception. This is me. This is my perception. This is what I believe in, and maybe I'll come your way another time. But this has been me coming live. This is Part and Purpose with me, Kwesi Hayford, and I'll see you another time. I've done a lot of writings on this as well. You can look at my articles on LinkedIn. You can follow me on Instagram, Kwesi Hayford. You can follow me on Twitter, Kwesi Hayford. You can follow me on TikTok as well as Kwesi Hayford. And as always, more vim to everybody who has joined. I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful day and good night. Bye.